One character in Raising Kanan Season 5 is already walking toward death, and the scary part is that they probably don't even realize it yet. After everything that happened at the end of Season 4, the streets are more dangerous than ever before. Trust is gone, families are breaking apart, and revenge is now controlling almost every major character. But when fans look closely at the ending clues, one thing becomes very clear. Season 5 will not be about making money anymore. It will be about survival. Every conversation now feels dangerous. Every alliance feels temporary. And every character looks like they are only one mistake away from disaster. The most shocking part is that some of the people fans believe are safe may actually be the first ones to die. The biggest reason Season 5 feels so dangerous is because the emotional damage inside the Thomas family is finally exploding. Earlier seasons still had moments where the family worked together even during problems. But now, almost every relationship feels broken. Rock no longer fully controls Kanan. Lulu is mentally exhausted and disconnected from everyone around him. Marvin has changed a lot emotionally, but the streets around him are becoming more violent every day. Even the business itself feels unstable now. Nobody trusts each other completely anymore, and in a world like Raising Kanan, that usually leads to bloodshed. The streets in Season 5 may become more brutal than ever because emotions are now stronger than logic. Characters are no longer thinking calmly. They are reacting emotionally, making desperate choices, and carrying years of anger inside them. That is exactly the type of environment where deadly mistakes happen fast. One of the most important clues from the ending of Season 4 is how isolated many characters looked. Rock especially looked emotionally tired in several scenes. Normally, she controls situations with confidence, but recently, it feels like that power is slowly disappearing. Her empire is still standing, but the pressure around her keeps growing. Enemies are watching her, old betrayals are returning, and even worse, Kanan is slowly becoming harder for her to manipulate. That may become the biggest danger of all. Rock built her entire world around control, but Season 5 may finally show what happens when she loses it. And when powerful people begin losing control in the power universe, somebody usually dies soon after. At the same time, Kanan himself is becoming darker emotionally. Earlier in the series, viewers could still see innocence inside him. Even when he made bad decisions, there were moments where he felt confused, emotional, or guilty. But now that innocence is fading fast, the streets are teaching him harder lessons every season, and the people around him are shaping him into someone colder. That transformation is important because older Kanan from Power became one of the most ruthless characters in the entire franchise. Season 5 may finally show the moment where young Kanan stops caring emotionally and starts thinking only about survival. And if that happens, even the people closest to him could become targets eventually. Another reason fans should expect multiple deaths this season is because revenge has now become the center of almost every storyline. Unique's possible return alone could change everything. If he truly survived, then every person connected to his downfall may already be in danger. Revenge changes people completely in this universe. Characters stop thinking about money, loyalty, or peace. They only focus on hurting the people who destroyed them. That creates chaos because revenge stories never affect just one person. Entire families and crews get dragged into the violence. If Unique returns angry and broken, there may be no limit to how far he goes. And honestly, the trailer hints and fan theories make that possibility feel more realistic than ever. What makes Season 5 even scarier is that many characters are emotionally exhausted already before the season even begins. Lulu especially feels like someone reaching his breaking point. Over the last few seasons, he has been drowning in guilt, stress, disappointment, and emotional pain. Every time he tries to escape the life around him, something pulls him back in again. That creates a dangerous situation because emotionally broken characters often stop protecting themselves properly. They take risks, they stop caring about consequences, and sometimes they secretly feel tired of fighting altogether. The show keeps giving Lulu scenes that feel heavy and emotional, almost like the writers are preparing viewers for a tragic ending. If Season 5 wants to shock fans early, Lulu could easily become one of the first major deaths. There is also growing danger around characters like Famous. Many fans forget that smaller characters in Raising Kanan often become victims when larger wars begin. Famous has already been connected to dangerous situations before, and he sometimes feels unaware of how risky his environment truly is. In shows like this, innocent or softer characters often become emotional casualties because their deaths affect everyone around them. If violence fully explodes in Season 5, people like Famous may not survive the chaos around them. The scariest part about Season 5 is that nobody truly feels protected anymore. Earlier seasons still had characters who seemed untouchable, but now every major player has enemies, emotional problems, or dangerous secrets following them. The streets are changing, the family is breaking apart, and revenge is becoming stronger every episode. That combination almost guarantees tragedy. And if the writers want Season 5 to fully connect young Kanan to the monster fans know from Power, then this season may force him to experience losses so painful that they permanently destroy the last emotional part of him forever. Unique's possible return may become the biggest disaster in Raising Kanan Season 5, because if there's one thing the Power universe always teaches viewers, it's that people who survive betrayal never come back the same. And after everything that happened near the end of Season 4, there are simply too many suspicious details for fans to ignore anymore. The show never clearly gave viewers a normal ending for Unique. Instead, everything felt strange, rushed, and unfinished. That alone has created massive theories online that he may still be alive somewhere, quietly preparing for revenge. And honestly, if that theory becomes true, then almost every major character could suddenly be in danger. The most important clue is how the show handled Ronnie's storyline after Unique disappeared. Ronnie was introduced as someone dangerous, unstable, and emotionally unpredictable. But even with all that build-up, his story still felt incomplete in some ways. It almost felt like the writers were creating chaos around Unique's disappearance on purpose, instead of fully closing the door on him. In crime dramas like Raising Kanan, when a major character dies off screen or disappears without a fully emotional conclusion, there is usually a reason behind it. Writers often leave small openings so they can bring the character back later in a bigger and more shocking way. That is exactly why fans continue believing Unique survived. If Unique truly returns in Season 5, he will probably not return as the same man viewers remember from earlier seasons. Before everything went wrong, Unique was calm, smart, patient, and strategic. He understood the streets better than most people around him. He knew when to attack and when to stay quiet. But betrayal changes people emotionally. Pain changes how people think. If Unique survived while believing everyone abandoned him or replaced him, then his personality may become much darker than before. Instead of thinking like a businessman, he may start thinking only about revenge. And that type of mindset becomes terrifying because revenge removes fear. People with nothing left emotionally often become the most dangerous people in the room. Rack would immediately become one of the biggest targets if Unique comes back. Their relationship has always been complicated because emotions and business constantly mix together between them. Even during moments where they trusted each other, there was still tension underneath everything. If Unique feels betrayed by Rack now, then Season 5 could finally turn their emotional conflict into full war. The scary part is that Rack already has enough pressure surrounding her from every direction. Her family relationships are damaged, her business is unstable, and Kanan is becoming harder to control. Adding an angry Unique into that situation could completely destroy the balance she worked so hard to build. Marvin may also become a major target, depending on how much Unique knows after his return. Marvin has changed a lot emotionally over the series, and many fans now see him as one of the few characters actually trying to become better. But in the Power universe, becoming softer emotionally often makes characters more vulnerable. Marvin still lives inside a violent world where old enemies never forget anything. If Unique believes Marvin played any role in his downfall, even indirectly, then Marvin could suddenly find himself pulled into another deadly conflict. And honestly, Marvin's recent emotional growth almost feels like the writers are making viewers love him more before something terrible eventually happens to him. The most interesting possibility is how Unique's return could affect Kanan directly. Kanan has always watched the adults around him carefully, learning lessons from every betrayal, manipulation, and violent decision. If he sees someone like Unique return completely broken and consumed by revenge, that may teach him another dangerous lesson about survival. Young Kanan is already losing pieces of his innocence every season. A war involving Unique could push him even further toward becoming the ruthless version fans know from Power. And if Kanan eventually gets forced to choose sides during this conflict, it could permanently damage his relationship with Rock forever. Another reason this theory feels believable is because Season 5 needs a major emotional storm powerful enough to change every character's direction. Unique's return would instantly create that chaos. Suddenly, nobody would feel safe. Old alliances would collapse. Trust would disappear even faster. Every conversation would carry tension because nobody would know who could be targeted next. That kind of fear is exactly what Raising Kanan does best when the show reaches its most intense moments. There's also the possibility that Unique may not return openly at first. Instead of immediately attacking everyone, he could begin secretly watching people from the shadows. That would honestly make the storyline even more dangerous, because psychological fear sometimes hurts more than direct violence. Imagine characters slowly realizing that someone they thought was gone may actually still be alive nearby. Every strange event would create paranoia. Every unexpected attack would feel personal. And once paranoia enters the streets, mistakes start happening quickly. The biggest reason fans should fear Unique's possible comeback is because revenge stories inside the Power universe almost never end peacefully. They usually destroy multiple lives at once. Innocent people get caught in the middle, families break apart, friends betray each other. And by the time the war finally ends, nobody walks away emotionally clean anymore. If Season 5 truly brings Unique back into the story, then Raising Kanan may be preparing for its darkest and deadliest chapter yet.